Good morning. Well, it is the first morning after the first day of taking medication, so I guess you could really call this day one. I feel pretty good today. I don't have any side effects that I can really attribute to the Sustiva Truvada combo. Last night I had a bit of a headache. I had some jaw and tooth pain, which was kind of unusual for me. I really don't ever experience that sort of thing, so I think that is probably related to the Truvada and Sustiva. It certainly wasn't bad. I took some ibuprofen and got over that right away. It's just not something that I'd heard about as a possible side effect, so I'm kind of curious to see if it happens again tonight or tomorrow morning. The day is going pretty well. It's maybe a little hot for my liking, a little humid, but that's why they make AC. I just wish I had central air as opposed to a window unit. So if I start sweating, you know why. It's not anything other than just being darn hot today. In terms of how I'm feeling emotionally, I don't know. It's difficult to say. I feel pretty good, all in all, I guess. I don't really feel like I'm in a comfort zone, especially with starting medications. I guess that's to be expected, considering how I went into it. In terms of everything else in my life, it's I'm not in a bad place. I just have so much on my plate. I'm still trying to figure out, getting over the relationship when my ex broke up with me. Trying to get used to the idea of not only being positive but being on medications. There's an awful lot for me to deal with. I am home this week from travel, so I should have some time to really devote to processing some of this information. It is difficult because I really enjoy getting to know people. I chat with people online, but right now it's, there are the guys who chat with me, wishing me luck, giving me support, giving me advice, and I really appreciate that, and I enjoy chatting with these guys. And then, there's the people who chat me up with an agenda, which, don't get me wrong, it's very flattering, but it's not really where my head is at right now. I do not mind that agenda at all. Believe me, I had my day when I've been on there with the agenda, wanting to flirt, wanting to have some fun chatting and stuff. But to actually meet guys was a very rare thing. I mean, there had to be some real chemistry to happen online to make that happen. And let's face it, it's very difficult to gauge chemistry online. I am much more of a person who's attracted to people, watching them move around, watching them interact with other people in the world, and you can't do that online. It just doesn't happen. I much prefer to go out, to a restaurant, to a bar, whatever, and if I'm attracted to somebody, I'll just kind of keep an eye on them and see how they interact with their environment, try to get a feel for their intelligence and their kindness, this sort of thing, before I make a move, if I even think it's worth the time making a move. These days it's not worth making the time. I might watch, I might look, I might smile, but to actually do anything about it, it's just not where my head's at. I wouldn't be able to devote my attention to it, and the guy, I don't think anybody right now would get a really clear picture of who I am on a normal day, because of all the different things I'm going through. And I think that's to be expected. I'm processing through this as best I can, trying to get myself back to a baseline or a new normal. And I hope that as that happens, maybe my interest in people will really spark again, and I can think about making new friends, starting a relationship, something along those lines. But that's really kind of scary at the same time, because here I am, I'm positive. It's not like a year ago, 2 years ago, when I had the luxury of saying, oh, I'm negative, and really no worries going into a relationship. Now, I don't think it's an issue so much where I'm afraid that I'm going to get sick. I don't think it's an issue where I really have to worry about my health or well-being in a relationship. But for the other person, I think it just adds complications to starting a relationship. It's a dynamic that I'm not used to. Maybe the other guy is if they're positive, but it definitely presents new challenges. I've chatted with guys who date HIV positive exclusively, and I'm fine with that. If I meet the right guy who is HIV positive, then I'm fine. But I don't feel at this point that I really need to limit myself to that either. Of course, that's based on the person who is negative, their comfort level with it. I am not the kind of person who's going to hide my status to be in a relationship. I mean, my status is part of who I am now. I'm very upfront about it. It'll be one of the first things I tell a guy, if there's some interest. I've done this already. It was like the week after I found out, some guy expressed some interest in getting together with me, but I certainly wasn't ready for it then, and I told him right away. He was very, very nice about it, and I think certainly I could have gotten a good date out of it, but I'm not ready. So I feel kind of bad when I'm chatting with guys online, and I get the feeling like they're trying to get to know me, but it's difficult for me to devote that attention and really have an interest in expressing myself on a one-to-one basis like that right now. I typically go online looking for people that I already know and feel very comfortable with. I tend to be kind of shy, but I do open up easily. With time, I am sure that I'll get to be more like my old self, but right now just bear that in mind. One place I like to go is Sidetrack. I think it's a fun place to see people. There's a wide mix, wide age range. You see all kinds of people there. It's really fun to people watch. I tend to go out there like early on a Saturday night, say 8 or 9, and I tend to go home early too once it really starts to get crowded. I like to hold conversations with people, and it's just impossible when it's packed wall to wall. But if you ever really want to run into me and say hello, that would be the place to do it. Plans for today are to stay cool. It's going to be kind of difficult. It's a hot one out there, and I'm not much of a person who really enjoys sweating, so I think I'm going to be inside. My friend Mark's coming over. We're going to go out and kind of walk around the neighborhood, but more than that, I think it's going to be kind of a down day. And I think, considering that what I'm going through right now, that's not a bad thing. But I do hope to go out tonight. I can't stay in this apartment too long. I just get stir crazy and anxious. It isn't a good place for me to be 24/7. This is the cat. You will see her jumping up on me a lot. When she hears me talking, she thinks I'm talking to her. So, this is Millie. This is Millie's tail that likes to go around my face. So, she's been a very good support for me too. I've got one other cat. You won't ever see her. She's very, very shy. She only wants to be petted when I'm going to bed. So, but if you do see her, her name's Ella. In any case, you all have a good weekend, a good Saturday, and I'm sure we'll be chatting soon.